Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the second session of DTB's Financial Literacy and Enterprise Development Training. Karibuni sana. And even as you join in, please let us know where you're joining us from. You can also let us know what you remember from the last session, what stood out for you. Let us know on the chats. We are excited to be on session 2, which is customer excellence, so that you can take your business to the next level. Karibuni sana. For interpretation, there is a tab at the bottom of your screen where you can select the American Sign Language option, and one of our interpreters, either Byron or Lillian, will appear on the side of your screen. So karibuni sana. Let us know where you're joining us from. Let us know what stood out from the last time you were in the session, the very first session, which was on entrepreneurship. Today we cover customer excellence. We hope you're ready to learn. Let us know what you are looking forward to in this particular module, and we will be glad to cover that. We have Edward joining from Kengen Olkaria. Amazing, karibu sana. We have Nairobi represented. Welcome. Yeah, let us know what stood out for you from the last session, what you're looking forward to this session. We have Mombasa on the chat. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, everybody. We have Nairobi, Fresh Produce Consortium of Kenya. Yeah, you can also let us know what industry you're in, what's the name of your business. You know, we will be glad to see all of that. We have Nairobi as well. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Today is customer excellence, and we want to see how best you can work with your customers on your business journey. What challenges have you faced? Maybe you can also share on the chat when it comes to dealing with customers. What tips as well you can share, because we can learn from each other. We have Meru on the chat. Welcome, everybody. So one more time, at the bottom of your screen for interpretation, there's a tab. You can select American Sign Language, and you will have Lillian or Byron appearing on the side of your screen. So karibuni sana. We have Kitengela Qualitas Company, which is agrochemicals. We have someone from the NGO space. We have Bungoma. Fantastic. So it will be interesting to see how customer excellence can be applied across industries. Yes. We have Bobby from Limitless Mobility. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We look forward to having a great session. Okay. Then just, if you have questions, please direct them to the Q&A tab so that we can be able to track your questions and respond. We have Raphael saying the last presentation was not shared. We shared to those who had been able to register, but we've taken note, and we will share from this particular module, as well as the last one. We have Kisumu, we have Katsam Business Consultants. Yeah, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so now I think we can begin. I'd like to invite Anderi.
Thank you so much, Mantui. Thank you for the good job. Once again, thank you to Almet, KPA, our partners. My name is Anderi. I head Sustainability and Citizenship at DTB, and I'm super glad that you have all joined us for today's session. This is an interactive session. We will be inviting feedback from you. We want to hear from you what you think we can do better. We want to hear from you about the length of the sessions, about the timings, what else you'd like to see. But in today's session, our focus is on customer excellence, and it doesn't need belaboring how important the customer is. I mean, the customer, they say, is king, and they say the customer is always right. Even when they're being unreasonable, the customer is always right. So how do we ensure that our customers remain with us in a highly competitive environment, in an environment where price has become increasingly important and a big determinant of whether we stay with your product or not. How do you create that stickiness? But more importantly, how also do you convert your customers into your ambassadors, the ones who sell for you? So I mean, I think many of you have had the stories of Kensalt, you've had the stories of Aremis. These products sell themselves. You never see any adverts going out, but it's because they've created a certain niche and a certain stickiness. Aremis, I like to say, is a great equalizer. It doesn't matter. You'll find it in the woman, in a rich woman's handbag. You'll find it in the most in the upcountry, where it's used both as mafuta ya kujipaka and also ya kukamua ng'ombe, which is the original intention. So how do we create that Aremis effect for our businesses? And like I said, we are in a tough operating environment, but businesses will still, not only will they survive, but they will thrive and they will prosper. So karibuni sana, do share with us also about your businesses. Let's get to understand. And if you want to reach out to DTB to work with you, if you're not our customer, share with us and we'll share an email address where you can reach out and we will reach out to you. So I'd like to welcome Annabelle from Alnet to take it up from here. Annabelle, karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Anne. And thank you everyone who has joined. We are glad to have you once again. We are glad to connect with you in this very interesting session. And I like the way Anne has introduced it. And indeed, the customer, being careful or being very cautious about our customers determine how our businesses thrive, determine how our businesses also go beyond just today and they have a future. I like the example that she has also given on Aremis, that Aremis does not do any advert, but they are there. You'll find it. You'll find it in every person's. You'll find it in very many people's handbags. You'll find it in the countryside. You'll find it in town. You'll find it world over. Thank you very much for that intro. I believe all of us are very excited, just as I am, to be talking to you, to be sharing with you, even as we connect with each other regarding the customer, because indeed, there's a statement that we just say that the customer is always right. And indeed, the customer is king. They are king because without them, our businesses would not be what they are. And for those who are starting, even when you start your business, I believe your greatest target or your greatest focus will be on how to make your customer happy, or will be how to satisfy the needs of the customer. So I'll be taking you through the session once again, and I believe we're going to get more from one another, even as we connect with each other through the chat box, even as we connect with one another through the Q&A at the end. So my training brief this morning will be regarding how to communication in customer service, building customer loyalty. How do you then make our customers so stuck with us that they cannot go elsewhere? How can we have that loyalty? How can they become our ambassadors? How can we bank on them to just not only be our present client or to be the direct clients, but to also get us others, or to get us known, or to get us to get our products or our services popular? This is what the conversation we'll be having this morning. We'll also be looking at effective interactions with customers, which I'll be calling A to Z in customer service. And we'll also be looking at also how to manage challenges in customer service, because it's not to say that it is as easy as it sounds, because if it was that easy, I mean, anyone would just remote control their business and have their things going, everything else going on, but then, how the customers come and go. But it's not as easy as it sounds. There is that connection that you have to make with customers. And that is why I'll be focusing on communication, where we are asking ourselves, then how do we communicate with the customers? But I want to have the first discussion around who a customer is. Who is your customer? And I want to take us, for each one of us to take a moment and ask, who is a customer? Is the customer the one who purchases from us? Is it the person who signs a contract with us? Is it the person who we can always bank on when probably we need to make our products or services known? Is it who a customer is? Indeed, no. Anyone who walks into or contacts your business or contacts you as a business owner or as someone who is part of your business, anyone who works or gets in touch with you at your business, either physically or using technology, that is a customer. And the reason I put this emphasis is that a customer may come, probably, maybe they are even looking for something. Maybe they've come to make an inquiry, at times not necessarily regarding our direct products. Maybe they're even making an inquiry or they're seeking directions to go to somewhere else. But then there's something about you that will attract them. There's something about you that may connect with them right from the word go. And that is why we say anyone who walks into your business or workstation to seek a service or a product is a customer. This customer who you get in touch with, there is a way that you will leave a lasting impact in them. Probably you are even able to share those directions, or probably not able to share those directions. So what you are saying here is that you can have either a positive or negative impact on any person that you get in touch with. And that is why we say that is a customer. As I give this presentation, I'll be giving us reflections just like we did last week. We'll be making reflections so that even as we talk about this very important topic of the customers and thinking about the future of our businesses and thinking about what we need to improve today and tomorrow so that we can get better. We'll be looking at then, we'll be making reflections on how we can improve, because that's the essence of these sessions, to be able to not only be where we are today, but we start mapping the future. We start looking at how we are going to be in the next probably few years, because we said last week, we are never going to give up. I remember as we entered the session, I was given a name, resilience, because that is what I will talk about, even as we talk about our customers, as we deal with our customers with the best foot forward, then we are making our businesses resilient. We are giving some life into our businesses. We are giving some future into our businesses. So that is why we have started by saying who a customer is. I want to also remind you that if you don't take care of that customer who walks into your business, or that customer who probably has come to make an inquiry, or that customer who is complaining about maybe you being stock out, having stock outs, or having probably not received some very positive response from your business, if you don't take it well, if you don't take care of that client, somebody else will. Do we want that someone else to do it? No. Do we want someone else? Do we want someone to have something negative to say about our businesses? No. I believe that we want to have that lasting impact, and that lasting impact that is positive for our businesses. So please always remember, in this very, very competitive world today, as Anne has put it in her intro marks, that we are living in a very, very competitive world, both in technology and even physically. Those who have businesses, you'll bear me witness that even if you have a business that is very, very unique, you have something that has not been had by or has not been done by anybody else. However unique you are, in no time we are known, especially in the world today, that somebody else will be taking that, will be doing a copycat of what you're doing. And that's why I said last week that we got to really got to be cautious, or to keep cultivating what is unique about our businesses, so that even if anyone else tries to copy your business, they cannot get to where to your level, because you're unique. Yeah. Because so as we take care of that one customer, or we take care of those two customers, we are ensuring the future for our business. We are guarding those customers so that they are not taken care of by someone else. It's like taking your own food and giving it to somebody else. By guarding our customers, by nurturing the relationships with our customers, we'll be taking care of the future, we'll be taking care, we'll be safeguarding what belongs to us in our business, not only now and for the future. And you know, as you're going to see, as I'm going to mention as you go along, the needs will keep revolving. How about connecting with those clients so that you even get to know when the needs revolve? And in a way, you know, you connect with them in a way that you are able to connect, you're still able to meet those needs in the best way that you can. So then how do we communicate and build relationships towards customer loyalty? I've talked about this as I started, in that building loyalty is very, very critical today. How do we communicate? How do we build relationships? How do we make that customer your ambassador? How do we make that customer so happy with you that they can never go elsewhere? However, you know, tempting or however competition may be trying their best probably to get to that customer. How can you build that loyalty? How can you make our customers our ambassadors? And because it's a very important conversation we got to keep having as in our businesses. For us to thrive in our businesses, we have to keep on taking care of those clients so that we have such a relationship with them, such that when they need anything, when they have any concern, even regarding our products, they can always let us know. Because feedback is very important in business. Feedback is very important in any form of service that you offer, in any form of interactions, in any form of training, even as you're doing. Feedback is very critical. So the same thing applies even with our customers, so that we are able to keep them, they give us their feedback, so that you are able then to keep taking care of them. So in order to have that loyalty, in order to build that loyalty with our customers, there are two very important qualities that we want to keep having in customer-friendly approach, because that's what you're trying to come up with, a customer-friendly approach in the way we interact with our customers, in the way we even source for those customers, in the way in which we sustain them in our businesses. The first quality that you must have in order to have that customer-friendly approach is be able to communicate effectively, be able to communicate, be able to be very, very cautious on how you communicate with your customers. I remember mentioning in last week's session that as our businesses grow, indeed, of course, you're going to have other people on board. You're going to maybe have people who will be supporting you. You're not going to be it is not going to be a one-man show all through the life of the business, but probably as you're starting, you can be alone. So even as you bring other people on board, that is something that you want to inculcate in them. That is something that you want to instill in them. That is the culture that you want to build in your organization, so that whoever represents you, whoever whoever takes your products or services to customers, even if you're just prospecting to them, or you're just connecting with them so that they can become your future customers, you need to communicate effectively. You need to communicate with your customers wisely. The other thing that you must have, the other quality, is that you want to develop relationships. How do you develop relationships so that your customers do not just take you as a business owner, so that they don't just take you as a provider of the service or the provider of the product that they get from you, so that you can connect with one another, that you can share with one another. They can give you open feedback. They can give you genuine feedback, even when things are not going well. So these are two main tasks for any successful business. Any person who wants to succeed in business, you must, one, create those relationships and be able to communicate effectively. Of course, we will not say that it is not a switch that you can work on. It does not happen instantaneously. It has to be worked on. Yeah, I will not say it does not take a huge effort. That is individual. They can take a huge effort. If you're really concerned about building relationships with your clients, then you want to work towards having a positive dialogue, communicate effectively with your customers, and develop ongoing relationships so that you're not just concerned about now, You're concerned about the future. You are concerned about even in crisis moments. How are you relating with those customers? How do you meet those needs? How do you appeal to those customers so that they stay connected with you? So you got to be conscious about developing not only present relationships for that particular interaction or for that particular transaction that you want to have with your client, probably when they just into your business the first time, but also have an ongoing relationship. And when you develop ongoing relationship with customers, these are people then who become your ambassadors. These are people who can tell others about you. These are people who will even appeal to their family members regarding you. And this way now we are able to create a line of people that we can count on. We are able to create even people who we can bank on, for the growth and sustainability of our business. So this is very, very important in customer relationships. Now, when I talk about communication, I like talking about maybe the basics in communication. And when I talk about basics in communication, we are looking at what I call an equation of communication. What is in this equation? This equation has 3 sections. Has a section on what you hear, what you see, and what you feel, and the words that you give. So I want to start with the first. As you're communicating with your people, because I've said that being able to communicate effectively is very, very critical for the success of our businesses. So what we hear, what is it that you hear? What do people hear? When you're communicating, what do they hear? It's your tone of voice, it's your vocal clarity, that whatever words that you want to put across are being heard and are being heard clearly. So that's why we say the vocal clarity. The word is in the right place. The consonants are in the right place. And even as we go on, even as we say all this, the expressiveness that you're able to express what you mean to put across. So as you communicate your customers, as you communicate with your customers, who are the future for your business, then you want to ensure that what they hear is 100%. What you mean for them to hear is what they have heard. Because communication is 2 ways. There is the receiver and there is the giver of the communication. You as the giver of that communication, what you have given, what you are sending to your client is what they have heard. And likewise, even when they communicate with us, ensure that even as you talk about communicating effectively, that you can also hear them when they are giving you that feedback or whatever concerns they have, or maybe when they are placing their orders, be it on phone or be it on face-to-face, that you are able to hear them. Their tone of voice is clear, and what is not clear, then you can seek clarity so that you are on one page, so that you communicate, so that what they meant to, when they mean to give you is what you get, and the other way around. When you're communicating with them, what you mean to communicate with them is what they hear. Now, this represents 40% of the message. What you hear is 40% of the message. What is the other section, or what is the other part of the communication equation? The other part is what you see or feel. This is mostly in face-to-face communication, where you're able to meet face-to-face, or you're able to interact with your customers person to person. So your facial expressions, your dress and grooming, how you come through, how you present, we call it presentation. That really counts. Your posture, your body language. Yeah. All this is very critical and represents 50% of the message. Your eye contact, the touch, and the gestures. All these represent 40%, 50% of the message. So we've seen that what you hear is 40%. We've seen that what you see or feel as you connect with that person, as you look at their faces, as you get to connect with them, as you get to feel their presence, let me put it this way, that is 50% of the message. Now, the remaining part is just the remaining part is from 100, we have 90, so we have 10. 10% is in the words. So you can see the communication equation is actually something that should get us thinking. How do we put across our messages so that they are heard clearly? How do people see us? How do our customers see us? How do our clients feel when they walk into maybe that they are seeking directions, or they're just making an inquiry, like I said, because that is who a customer is. What do they see? What do they feel? What impact does it leave in them? Is it something that will last for long? Is it a positive impact? Is it a negative impact? The words that we say only form 10% of the communication equation. So something that you want to keep knowing, you want to keep thinking about, you want to keep reflecting on, so that probably wherever you have not been successful in your business, is it in the way we communicate? Is it in the way we have not been, is it in the way probably our customers communicate to us such that we have not been able to come through for them? Or we have not been able to make meaningful or lasting communication with them, because we have not been able to build long-lasting relationships with them because we didn't communicate. Food for thought in how we communicate. And communication is a two-way street. It's two-way, as I've come from saying, that even as you're talking about how we communicate, we also should be thinking about how our customers communicate with us. Listening to others. When I'm sending this information to you, as I'm sharing with you through this in this session through Zoom, what are you hearing? What am I sending? Are you receiving what is meant to be sent? Are you hearing? Am I able to assert clearly? Am I able to express? Am I able to give it, the weight that is meant to be given, so that it comes through to you as something that is it comes through to you as something that is of value for your business. So the listener who receives the communication is a recipient, and you can see even up there is the sender and the receiver, and that is what effective communication is. And in between the sender and the receiver, there is a message. How is that message received? That is why we say it is a two-way street. And lower down here, if you look at the other section where we have the sender and the receiver, there can also be barriers. What are the barriers of communication? What are the barriers? What comes in between you sending that communication and the recipient being able to get what you are sending to them? What are the barriers? And barriers can be in many forms. Barriers can be so many. They can be physical barriers. They can be cultural barriers. They can be so many other forms of barriers, emotional barriers. Yeah, they can be language barriers. There can be so many forms. They can even be technology related. What is coming in between the message you're giving to your client and how it is received? So it's two-way, and when one side of the street is not complete, then we cannot say that you have an effective communication. When the message is not sent as it should, or it is not received as it should, when the message has not come out clearly to the recipient, or when you as a sender of that message has not been able to express it effectively. So I'm emphasizing on this because this could be the undoing for many businesses when effective communication is not as productive as it should be. Then taking us, having seen what communication is, or having maybe made that reflection on how important communication is, and also looking at the three sections in the communication equation, the 50, the 40, and the 10, and then also seeing that communication is two-way, And when one is ailing, when the sender is not clear, or when the listener has, or when there are barriers in between, that communication will not be complete, is not effective. So then how do we interact with the customers? Because that is what is important for us today. Then I want to emphasize where the rubber meets the road, which I've already partly talked about. If we serve our customers directly, we have the power to affect their perceptions. How do your customers perceive your products? How do your customers perceive you as the owner of the business? How do they perceive the services that you receive from them? How do they perceive the quality of the products that they get from you? How do they also perceive the interactions that you make with them? This is very important for business. The contact with our customers is where the rubber meets the road. How you even onboard that customer in the first place, before you onboard them, there's a lot of interactions. There's at times a lot of back and forth. And I know if I asked each one of us to share the journeys they've had with their client before they could, make them their customers, and long-lasting customers at that. It takes a lot of work. So that contact that you make, that's why communication is very important. That communication that you make with your client, that initial the touch with your customers, the contact that you make, so that then you're able to have a lasting relationship, is very important. And customers will always have opinions, so you might as well learn how to create positive opinions for them. We are human, and so are your customers. Your customers will always have an opinion. Your customers will always, there's something that there's a way that they perceive you. This can be either negative, it can be positive. So then we might as well have, as a part of our way of interacting with our customers, then we might just as well learn how to create positive opinions. You make it until you sometimes you even if it means faking until you make it, so that you can get through to your customers. I'm not saying that you have to fake at all times, no, but there are times probably the customers will get you off, when you're not in your very happy moment. But you want to win them. We want to have that lasting contact. You want to have a positive contact. So you want to give them that lasting impression. You want to give them something that they'll be very, very happy. They'll be happy to even make reference to your business. They want to come back to you. Very, very critical. So we want to make our customers have lasting, positive opinions about us. The best to have perceptions. We have great perceptions about us, so that they perceive you positively. They perceive you as one they can trust. They perceive you as somebody who says, they perceive your business or your services as something that they can bank on, that they can rely on. Just like you're saying today, as we are on board in this session, we want as customers of Diamond Trust Bank, we want you to have faith in us. We want you to see us as your solution providers. We want you to have, we want to leave that lasting positive opinion about us, because we really are concerned about you. And that is why we want to keep having these interactions with you through these trainings. So putting it back to in our businesses, in our business context, our customers are very important to us. We want to keep having that. If you have lost it along the way, because crises do happen, things happen, and at times, even when it is not planned for, you find sometimes that we are veered off the way. Maybe not not intended, but the things just happen, and along the way, you're not able to please your customers. Let me use the word please. In those moments, what do you do? Do you give up on them? Do you let them be seen be taken by others? Remember the quote that if you don't take care of customers, somebody else will. Are we giving that other person an opportunity to take care of our customers, to serve our customers better than we do? No, no. We are going to safeguard our clients. You're going to safeguard those relationships, and you're going to have relationships that are built of trust, that are built of positivity, that are built of the future. So looking at 10 customers, because we have just saying that they have a right to have expectations from us. Indeed, they do. Think of yourself as a client at some point. When you walk into that business, or when you make contact with that business, you have expectations. And many times when those expectations are not met, we will get disappointed. We are human. So customers do have our expectations. How can we then get through to our customers? How can we know their expectations? I go back to communication. And that's why I said communication is into it. Remember the part of 50%, where is the body language, where is the facial expression, from those in regards to your customers. Maybe a customer walks into your business and their body language is very telling, or their facial expression is very telling. Then you can pick as quickly as possible that probably they have not been served as expected, or maybe they are not as keen on your products or services, but there they are. They have still come to you. So customers have expectations. The more we communicate with our customers, the better we will get to know their expectations. The better we will get to know how is it that they perceive our businesses. The better then we'll be able to get to know what their needs are, or we will be able even to know how to serve them better, how to make it work even when it has not worked, how to even rebuild those relationships when they have been injured in a way. As we have said, we are human. At times it is not our making, but things will happen. So what do you want to get from our businesses? What do customers want to get from our businesses or our service? And what experience should come with this? And as I'm saying this, I will ask us, and as I also ask myself, are there times that we feel we do not understand our clients? Are there times that you have had clients who don't even show up again? You expected them, but they don't show up. Or maybe we have done all we can because they are always right. We have done all we could, but they are still not very happy. They have not still made them happy. What is it that they want? And I know that the answer for this is yes. Are there times that we feel that we do not understand our clients? I know many will say yes, even as I also say yes, that there are times I do not understand my customers. There are times that maybe you have done so much, you thought you have done enough, but it's still not enough for them. So there are those times. So what is it that then we need to do in order to recoup what we have lost with them? What is it that we need to do in order to understand them, be able to meet those needs, be able to give them what is it that they want to get from us, so that they can have the best of experiences from us? So as we run our businesses, it's very good to keep asking ourselves, what is it that your customers want? And when you talk about customers, you're not talking about them broadly. If you can deal with your customers as individuals, if you have a big brand that probably you are not able to individualize every person that you interact with, then you can have them in their different maybe classes. How do I deal with this type of people? How do I deal with this type of people? How do I deal with this? So that then you are able to come through for them, and you're able to personalize your services, your products to them, and so that they can be happy. Even as I talk about this, I know that there are times we have also been let down in businesses. And I know many will tell me, yes, you have gone to a service, you have expected a service, but you have expected something from a business, but that was not forthcoming. Ladies, think about your hairs, the salons. Many times you have gone to a salon and a salonist and explained to them how you want your hair done. And the outcome of it is something different. We have also tailors who will maybe you describe how you want your outfit or how you want your suit, even gentlemen, those who tailor their suits, and what is the outcome of it? Did this person who is giving you this, did they get it? Let me use the example of the tailor. Did they understand what your needs were? Did they understand what your expectations were? Or were they hurried, or were they just quick to take the business and not take what is part of that business, serving the client as we should? So there are many times then we do not understand our clients, I included, and also we have not been served well as we have included. So what is then communication? How do we communicate? We talked about communication being a two-way process. I'd like us to watch this, and as we watch it, and we think about maybe how we also communicate with others, what is it that probably people expect us? Are they able to verbalize? Are they able to put it clearly for us what they want from us? You're going to see, and then as we also reflect on our own businesses or how we are served in businesses. Let me know that you can hear it. The sound is clear from your end. Wow. I hope you've been able to get something, that precise communication at the right time, at the right place is guarantee for success. I see the claps and the thumbs up. So I get it that at least you've been able to get that message. Thank you very much for that feedback. Indeed, it's a two-way process. And I believe you've been able to see how I see even smiles. So you have also enjoyed. Thank you for getting it.
Annabelle, could you just explain maybe the video for those who are not able to see, just so that everyone can get it? Thank you.
Okay. So yes, that is that I was coming to that. Mantui. We have just said that precise communication at the right time, at the right place is guarantee for success. So you are able to see three animals. The message was put to the animals that they'll be eaten by the bear. So the first animal went and asked the bear, how is it true that you're going to eat animals? Is it true that you're going to eat animals? And the answer was yes. And when they said yes, he was the next thing. They asked, "Am I on the list?" And they were told yes. And so because they were on the list of those who are supposed to be eaten, they were eaten. That was animal one. The second animal went and did the same thing. Is it true that you're going to eat animals? The bear said yes. Am I on that list? And the answer was yes. And so the next day, the two animals had been eaten. The first day, the first animal was eaten. The second day, the second animal was eaten. So in this, if that was going to be the trend, then every animal was going to be eaten. So here comes rabbit, the wise animal. Having looked at how the others did it, they decided that they are going to take a different approach. And that's why we said precise communication at the right time, at the right place is guaranteed for success. Yes, he still went to the same bear. He was an animal, but how did he put his communication? How did he communicate? Is it true? Yes. And the bear said yes. He did not ask, am I on the list? Can you take me off the list? And the minute that request was made, bear gave in, and they did not eat them. So what does that tell us? And that's why we said precise communication at the right time, at the right place. How do we communicate? Are we able to tell the needs of our clients? Are we able to come to the level of our clients? That is what this is. That is what that one. The right words, action at the right time, at the right place. And I was just going to ask us from this, what is your take? When do we have the right words with our clients? Do we have the right action with our clients at the right time? Even as I talk to myself and yourself as a client, when you're on the other side of when you're on the receiving end as a client, do you get the right words? Do you also get the right acts and maybe to determine what kind of a relationship you build with this business at the right time? So it's a reflection for us. It's time for us to just say, how do we communicate? Do we communicate with our clients in a way that relates with their needs, relates with them, relates with their situations, relates with their timing, relates with the place at which they are in their businesses or in their life? So it's possible to build effective relationships. It's also possible sometimes to be able to get off situations just through the way we communicate, or just the same way that we receive communication from those who communicate with us. And I started by saying that if we don't take care of our customers, somebody else will be doing it, will be very willing to do it. And so what you're saying is that you're not going to give our hands, you're not going to take our clients and sacrifice them for others. You're going to take care of them, you're going to guard them, you're going to guard how we communicate with them, you're going to guard the actions or the relationship that we have with them, so that they don't tire with us and go to others. So we are still talking about communication and looking at then our clients. How is it that can maybe help us understand our clients better? How can we address their needs? Look at that need that we saw, the need of those three animals. The two were not able to express their need, but the third one was, and they were helped. So how do we understand our customers? What are the basic needs that a customer has? A customer wants to feel welcome. A customer wants to be understood. And you understand them by listening to them, by connecting with them. A customer wants to be made to feel comfortable. A customer wants to feel appreciated. A customer wants to feel important. Why important? How does important come in? If you can, if somebody let's say gets you in the middle of something and you're able to put that aside for their sake, that shows them they're important. When you reach out to your clients and you talk with them and you find out how they are doing, yeah, that makes them feel important. Remembering their birthdays, their anniversaries, and celebrating that with them. Special holidays, reaching out to them, that makes someone feel important. A customer also wants to be respected. I know people will say that if customers don't respect us, we cannot respect them. I want to give us a new formula today, that we shall respect our customers irrespective Whether they give it back, but we shall do all it takes to take care of them, to take care of their concerns, to welcome them, to understand them, to make them comfortable, to make them feel appreciated and respected, even at times when they are undeserving. And that comes with a lot of weight. That there are times, even these needs, there are times that you are very upset with a customer. I was talking to somebody the other day, and it was not meant to be a session, but I was just talking to somebody for a service that I had sought, and I was mentioning something about probably the way they had responded to not just I, but many others. And then I was saying, when people talk to me badly, at times I also find myself talking to them badly. Wow. And I was able to guide them, and I was able to tell them, let me tell you, you're better not saying anything at all than engaging on a war of words with a client. And that's why I'm saying at times they're undeserving. And even if they'll come and blast you and tell you all manners of things, and at times you are on the wrong, and other times you are not on the wrong, customers will still be respected, irrespective. Customers will still be welcomed. Even that person who the last time they were with you, they say the very, very unpleasant things. The next time they come, still welcome them, still respect them, still understand them, still appreciate them. Appreciate them by saying a simple thank you. Appreciate them by maybe being considerate of what they are going through or what their concerns are, and being respected at all times. And that is what it means to respect our clients, even when they are undeserving. And that's why we started by saying the customer is always right, even when they are not right, even when their demands are so high, even when their expectations are out of this world. We shall still give them these basic needs irrespective. Something that we need to talk about very frequently. What are the effective communication skills? Having the eye contact, the body language, some questions, even understanding clients, using the right language, asking some encouragement, silence to continue. You let them voice out what is it that has brought them to probably to see you or to communicate with you, and having a smiling face. And I'll keep talking about this. Checking for understanding before they leave. Find out, have they been sorted? Have I understood you? And you summarize what has been said. As you listen to them, as you encourage them to go on, as you give them silence you become silent yourself so that they can share what's maybe coming through for them or what's their concern. Then before they leave, ensure that you summarize and check probably they have understood. Because even as you're having that conversation, we said conversation is two-way. It's also good for them to get to hear. Because sometimes some concerns are maybe beyond you. Yeah. And we say they have a right to have that perception or to have an opinion. So even as you communicate with them, we do it pleasantly, with respect, with understanding, and with humility, so that we can keep having them as our customers. So with this focus on customer needs and building relationships, then it is critical to identify the skills that are most important for delivering great customer expectation and great service, so that they can have the best of experience with us. And so that when they have the best experience of us, they will not look elsewhere. They will not give an opportunity for that other person, that somebody else. We focus on their needs and relationships, which I've said. Remember when I started by saying two things: communicating effectively, building relationships. And of course, communicating effectively, we are now still cultivating on how we can communicate, understand their needs, how we interact with them. All this is around communication. Then you need to identify those skills that will keep you, which are very important for helping you deliver a great customer experience. And when they have a great experience with you, they will not look elsewhere. When they have a great experience with you, they are loyal. When they have a great experience with you, you have a future. When they have a great experience with you, you can say, with confidence. Tumewasort. We have sorted them. Yeah, they can become your ambassadors. Yet again, we still have barriers. Like I said earlier, there could be barriers in communication, barriers in form of noise, in form of distractions. And distractions can be can be physical, can be emotional, put downs, lack of interest, disability can also be a barrier to effective communication, and it can also be addressed effectively so that you communicate with people using the right in the right way. Yeah, sometimes people are comfortable with a topic, so it becomes a barrier, and they start having, maybe they start the facial expressions start changing. Distance can also be a barrier. At times, about when there are too many questions, those can also form barriers. Other people can also be a distractor. Time can also be a barrier. And of course, language. Those are barriers that you have to be cautious with. So what are these skills for effective relationship? Of course, being able to present yourself well to customers. Remember when we talked about the three sections in the communication equation, when we said the second part, the 50%, what you see or feel. Yeah, how do you present yourself? What do they see of you? How do you communicate? You got to have those presentation skills on how you deal with your customers. You got to present your products and services in the right way to the customers. Of course, having an assertive behavior or being able to be assertive with your customers, where you're not aggressive, you're also not being too weak that you cannot be taken seriously. Negotiation skills. These are very important in the present world, to be able to negotiate what you feel is probably due to you. You negotiate even for better prices. You never negotiate even for clients to be on board. Patience is something that you got to keep working on. Being very patient. Patience dealing with customers who sometimes, like I say, they may not be deserving of your goodness or of your very positive communication with them. That patience, being able to listen to customers, where you're giving them that silence so that and you encourage them to keep talking. And we're not just talking about listening, but effective listening, active listening, where you can actually get to feel the expectations. You can be able to get to inform the next way, the next point, because you have heard your clients very well, you have summarized what they have said, and you now understand. Of course, conflict resolution. There'll always be conflicts. You will conflict with your clients, but how you manage those conflicts then informs how you build on your relationships. You don't just lie there because you don't just give up because you have had conflicts. This is the end of our customer or of our relationship with your customers. You'll still be there. You still be there talking to them, resolving those issues, and still looking at them and taking care of their needs as your customers. Of course, intercultural communication is very critical. And as part of dealing with aggression, conflict resolution is dealing with aggression. You come across clients who are very, very aggressive, who are very demanding, who are demanding of your time, who are demanding of maybe things that you cannot give, but you still have to deal with them. When they become aggressive, do you become aggressive? Of course not. You deal with that aggression. You manage it patiently. Empathy, resilience, as I talked about last week. Intercultural communication. You need to be able to understand different cultures and their expectations and their way of communicating, so that you can be able to have great communication and great relationships with your clients. The spirit of not giving up, like I said last week, in resilience. You want to keep having that as part of managing your clients, so that you can build on those relationships. Having empathy, being understanding of where your client is. How does their shoe feel? Does it pinch? Does it fit? getting to understand where they are at. And of course, customer care is very critical. So those are things that you keep on working on in order to build these relationships and be able to have lasting, not only relationships that are current, but also lasting relationships. The customer is always right. This is something that we said when we started. There are times that they'll make, even with all this, and that's why we have said that you have to have how to deal with aggression and also how to manage conflicts, because there'll be times that your customers are very demanding, seeking of your time, of your time at times unreasonably. Yeah. So what happens? They'll make unreasonable requests, and sometimes we'll also have unreasonable expectations. Sometimes we'll play fast and lose with the truth and may not understand your limitations in providing them what they want. Has that happened to you? I know it has, as it has happened to me. There are times the requests or demands may be unreasonable, that the expectations may be unreasonable. Think about a price. Sometimes we like bargaining. In Kenya, we are known as great bargainers. Are there times that probably you push a client to a point that they say, here, whatever it takes, I cannot go below here. Those are unreasonable expectations at sometimes clients. But how you communicate with them, but how you respond to that, then informs how you relate with that customer going forward, or whether you keep them as your own client or they go to somebody else. And then you're saying the single most important thing to remember about an enterprise is that there are no results inside the walls. The result of a business is a satisfied customer. And I don't know how that comes through to you, because it does have a lot of weight for me. It does remind me every day as I wake up, as I serve my customers, that I've got to be very, very, very cautious, that the walls of the business will not give me results. The computers that we use will not give me results. Yeah. All those, the assets of your business, the investments that you have made in your business is not what will give you results. The results will be from a happy customer, a satisfied customer. That is what the result of business is. And the best gift that your business can ever give you is when you satisfy a customer. You know that feeling when a customer comes back to you and tells you, I'm so happy that I am your customer. When a customer comes and gives you feedback and says, I actually decided to recommend you to my friends or my family because I've been served well. I know whenever we talk about service is about the person. It's about how you relate with this person, your body language, all those things that you said in the communication equation. And if you win that, and you manage it with your clients, and you can say that you can have many satisfied customers. Because like we said, it is two-way. How do you communicate with your customers? How do you nurture them such that you have satisfied customers? It's a lot of work. It's continuous, but we just have to do it. And that is why we say the customer is always right. It's not that they are always right. No. They will make unreasonable requests. At times they'll be very demanding. At times they'll be make very unreasonable expectations. There are times that they will even be very unpleasant to you. But do you stop there? Do you stop there? No. You still remember they are a client. When you remember that you still need them for tomorrow, you still need them for the for your business, the business future. And like we said when we started, our businesses have just got to thrive. How will they thrive? It is through taking care of those very key people in any business, our customers. So maybe at this point, we look at the relationships that we have with our clients. How do we relate with our clients? How do we relate with our customers? How are we appealing to our clients so that they can give us those results that are not inside the walls? How are we drawing customers to us so that they can give us that opportunity to satisfy them? How are we taking care of them? How are we managing ourselves? How are we improving our businesses so that they can serve the needs of those customers that are ever revolving, like I said last week? How can we do that? It's something that we've got to keep thinking, we've got to keep working on, because that is the only way our businesses will survive. That is the only way our businesses will thrive. And that is the only way we can give ourselves a tap at the back and say that I have been successful in business. And so it gives us, of course, it takes us back to resilience, because at times it has, you know, when you're dealing with a very unhappy client, it really takes a lot of control from your end. It really takes a lot of encouraging yourself to go on irrespective. So remember, there are no results inside the walls, but there are results. The results of any business are in a satisfied customer. That's a saying by Peter Drucker that I like reminding myself, even as I remind you today, because we are all customers of Diamond Trust Bank. And I know we want, and I know that's why Diamond Trust Bank is nurturing us, every week, so that they can make us happy, so that they can open those interactions with us, so that they can open that wind of us building long-lasting relationships, because they care about us. There is much more than a name. There is much more than a building, than a premises. More importantly, it is that customer, the one that comes in and seeks those services. So let's take care of them. Let's do everything we can. And when we have a moment, we shall just reflect on what else, maybe what am I doing to take care of my customers? And then we see then what else can we do to take care of those customers? What else do we need to do so that our customers can be happier than they are today? Food for thought. Yes, we started here where we said that the customers have rights. What do they want from us? And are there times we feel we do not understand our clients? I'm asking us once again, even as we remember that there are still no results inside our wall, do we still want to understand our clients? And so if we don't understand our clients, what are we going to do so that you understand? Are we connecting? Are we communicating effectively so that we understand what they want when they come to us? Is it that they expect too much than I can give? And if I'm giving them what I'm giving them, is it keeping them glued to this business? Ask yourself, do they have a right? And I want to answer you and tell you, yes, they do have a right. You as a customer also has a right. But what do you do with that right? Express it so that those who wish to serve you or who wish to interact with you are able to understand you and build lasting relationships. So we want to now, having seen communication, we have looked at communication, we have been able to see that our clients have certain things that they expect of us and that are so basic and that you need to really keep working on so that you can have those lasting relationships and continuous communication with them. So what are the strategies of building loyalty? We have ways that customers will evaluate us. Yes, they'll evaluate us based on 5 things. Yeah, well, and those 5 things are reliability, assurance, the tangibles, are we empathetic with them, and the responsiveness. I want to look at each one of them. Reliability. Do we perform and live up to our promises? Are we reliable? Can our clients take us to be reliable? When you agree a certain time, do you keep time? When you tell them that these products will be available at this point, are they available? When you tell them that I'm going to ensure that this is done by this time, is it done? Yeah. Are we dependable? Are we accurate also? That is how we can talk about being reliable. Our clients will count us as reliable if all those things are up to speed. Assurance, do they have trust and confidence in you? Do we possess the required skills and knowledge to perform what we do with our clients or for our clients? Do we answer their questions? Do we know the products and the services that we present? Yeah, or that we bring to the market? Do we understand do we have the listening skills? I talked about listening earlier. Are we just listening to them, and when we listen, do we communicate to them that it is clear? That is how our clients will rate us. Then on tangibles, quality and overall can be seen or felt. Physical facilities, your clients will gauge you based on that. If you're a business and probably you have a premise, what does it communicate to your clients? What are the equipment you need? Let's say, for example, you have said that you make yogurt. You have the equipment for that. You have staff that also carry your mantle, that have built have a culture of customer care inculcated in them. Yeah, and also how we communicate with them. Do we maybe communicate on email, letters? How do we? Empathy. Clients will also rate us, on how caring we are, how individualized we are to their concerns. Are we available when customers need us? Do we fit in their shoes, or do we show them that we are concerned about their well-being? Yeah, and communicate the same to them. When they come to us, probably they've been hurt. Do we apologize to them? Are we empathetic towards those needs? Yeah. And of course, responsiveness, the willingness to assist 24/7. We want to be able to assist our customers 24/7. Do we give prompt services? Do we resolve problems quickly? That is how our customers will rate us. How are we being rated? Or how are you being rated? How am I being rated by my customers? Am I reliable? Am I empathetic? Am I responsive? Do I give them assurance? How about the tangibles? How do they come through to my clients? So we make those reflections on us, even as we also see the A to Z in customer management. And what is this A to Z? So that we are trying to look at the strategies of building loyalty. The first one is arriving at work on time, prepared, and with a smile. A smile is very important. A smile is something that you have to wear every day. Then you believe in the organizations and the products or services that you are representing. That is AB of customer management. Being timely, being prepared, and having that smile. And that smile is something I've said, it just have to be part of your outfit, believing in your products and organizations. Choosing an attitude of service. Your customers should feel that you enjoy your job as you communicate with them. What is the attitude of service? What are you showing your customers? What attitude are you portraying of them? Is it a positive? Is it a negative? The customers should also be able to feel that you enjoy interacting with them. Remember, we are saying interactions with customers are very critical. Dress appropriately for the work that you do. This has no other way of putting whether you're serving customers, when you're serving customers, if it is formal, you be formal. If it is informal, you be informal, but ensure that you are appropriate and your customers take you seriously. Because of those 5 things that you have said, they rate us on. Yeah. So and ensure that you are well dressed for what you do, for whatever it is. If you have a meeting, if you need to do a client visit, whatever it is, be appropriately dressed. Empathize with your customers. I've talked about it. You show them that you understand them. You show them that you understand where their shoe feels. F, find answers if you don't have them. And you've said that is how your customers will evaluate you, by giving answers to questions. If you don't have them, find them. G, give customers outstanding service even when they are not buying from you. I gave this example as we started. When a customer walks into your premises, or they make a call to you, give them that outstanding service. Respond effectively. You never know when they'll come back to you. If they didn't come for that service, then they may come back to you, based on how you relate to them, based on what mark you leave with them. Help co-workers and other internal customers when needed. Our customers start also with where we are. The customers that you serve in your organization, wherever you are, those co-workers are your customers. Help them when needed. And not only your internal customers, and even your external customers, when they come to you with a need, make sure that you sort that need. Initiate contact with customers. Don't wait to be approached. In this era of competition, I told you, if you don't take care of your customer, somebody else will. So initiate contact with customers. I think at this point, we must all admit that at any one point, you want to have another customer, you want to make a relation, or to better the relationship with your customers. So you want to initiate that customer, you want to be able to talk to them first. But if they are well and good, but be the one who takes the initiative. And that you're talking about not only those who we are going to call to be our clients, but even those that are our continuing clients. Initiate communication with them, so that you get to see how they are faring, so that you make them feel important and respected, and all those things that we say. J is for justifying your reasoning and offer available alternatives when you must. You got to be very logical when it comes to that. Offer available alternatives when a customer has probably a crisis. Ensure that you take them through what is it that you need, what they need. Give them alternatives, take them through, and ensure that they understand and they are clear. K is for knowing as much as possible about your organization and its products and services. Just like B, which says believe in your product and services. As you believe in them, get to know more about them, get to understand about them. L is leave your personal problems at the door when you're serving customers. I said, sometimes you have to fake, even when all is not going well, have to put on that smile. So when you have personal problems, ensure that they don't cross the line and go to the customers. The customers should never be able to pick that. M is more minding your manners, saying please and thank you often. These are things that you are taught in childhood, but at times they get off the way. We start taking other people for granted, but we should never get to that. Apologize when you are wrong. Say please, and when something is done well, say thank you. And N is for never say that's not my job. That's not my job. Do your best to solve, to come through, or maybe get them assistance, and never tell them that my job and leaving them with that empty feeling. That is wrong. O is for owning problems. Don't pass the buck. Owning problems or owning situations is maturity, is a lot of maturity. Yes, before you pass the buck, would you first own it? And especially when it is maybe a concern which probably has not gone well with the client. Maybe they had a situation that went out of way, that was beyond them. If you're the first contact person that they bring this to, own it, and then now you can pass. If you are to pass the buck when you have first owned it, before you can refer it to somebody else, probably your seniors. Prioritize what's important. That's P. People should come before inventory, internal processes, and etc. We say that the people that mean anything for the result of your business are your clients. There are no results inside your walls. So prioritize them. So people here means customers. And Q is for questioning your organization about policies and procedures that hinder your ability to give good service. So you will question that so that this is a way of improving yourself. You're improving the way that your attitude in service, the way being thorough as you deal with clients. So you question, and so that then you're able to give the services to your clients. You go deep and understand your policies and procedures. So if something is not going well. And when it is going well, you improve on it. Respond quickly, that is R, and efficiently to customer requests. Yeah. Do not wait for people to keep reminding you. Respond quickly and efficiently to their request. Speak clearly and professionally. Save slang for your off time. Yeah, slang has become the order of the day, but can you do that? Not when you're dealing with clients or within the offices, for those of us who represent organizations that have many people or have many departments. Yeah, clearly and professionally, so that then we are taken seriously by our clients. Treat people fairly and apply policies and processes consistently. U is body language that says, I am here and ready to help. I said, that is 50% of the communication equation. How people see you, your body language is very telling. I'll be able to see just by looking at you, I'll be able to see whether you are ready to help. And the opposite applies. And when you are unwilling, the client will also see it. V is for verifying that your customers are satisfied and that all their questions are answered before ending calls, sales, or other interactions, be it physical, be it calls, be it sales. Ensure that the customers are satisfied. You have been able to come up with the way forward and you have agreed on the way forward together. And then now you can end the call and you can end it on a good tone and thanking them for that call or thanking them even for that opportunity to serve them or to make that call to you, to your organization. That's when you're dealing with them on phone. When you're dealing with them physically, ensure that by the time they are leaving that door, they are happy and they feel they have been helped. Walk customers through any complicated processes or procedures to reduce confusion later. So ensure that they understand the processes or procedures. And that's why you need to understand them yourself clearly so that then your clients take it, they take it well. So X is exterminating, complaining, personal conversations, and other behavior that reduce your ability to remain positive and engaged. That is X. Complaining is not, apply in customer service. Personal conversations, save that for after work or during your break time. Another behavior that will reduce your ability to remain positive and engage with your clients. Y is yell and yell back not or at no one while at work. A customer may yell at you, but don't yell back. Maintain your calm, maintain your cool. Always keep your conversations professional, even if you're being attacked, even if you're being called words, remain calm and remain contained. And then Z, lastly, zeroing on how you can help by listening more and talking less. That is what you zero in so that you now can have satisfied customers. Customers who will come back, customers who become your ambassadors, customers who will refer you to others, customers who will spread the word about you, zeroing on how you can help them by listening more and talking less. That's the A to Z in customer service. And I wonder which letter communicates to you. Is it A, is it B, is it C, D, E, F, G, H, all those up to Z? Which one communicates with you? Time for us to reflect on that. Even as we prepare to take a break, we'll be given some brief by Mantui, because we'll be responding to polls during our brief 6 or 7 minutes break. And so that then after that we can take our break. I want to invite Mantui to take us through how we're going to respond to our calls. Then thereafter we take a 10 minutes coffee break. Back to you, Mantui.
Thank you so much, Annabelle. It's very insightful so far. Even from the comments, there's really good stuff going on. So ladies and gentlemen, we will also be having fireside chats in between some of the modules. This is basically having some leaders or experts in the field, because we remembered from the last session, people wanted more examples from Kenya, for instance. So we'll be inviting certain guests. And so we just wanted to know what topics, even from the modules that we're going to be having in the future, what topics would you want covered? So if you can go to your screen, there is, at the bottom of the screen, there's a place where you'll get the polls. You can just select polls and you will see a poll coming up on your tab. And we've asked you some of the topics that you'd be keen on. Please select the one that is most relevant to you. But you can also write on the chat what topic specifically you'd want covered by certain experts, whether in the customer excellence module or in the entrepreneurship module or the leadership dynamics module, whatever modules that are coming up. Please let us know in the chat what fireside chats you'd want covered. So please confirm from the chat if you can see the polls. The question on the poll is, what topics are you keen on for our fireside chats? So we've given some examples. There's risk management for MSMEs. There's opportunities in the sustainability space, governance for MSMEs. You can also write on the chat. So at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a tab written more. When you select more, there's an option for polls. Please select the polls and you will see the poll popping up. So at the bottom of your screen where it's written more, please select more, and then you'll see the option of polls. You can select that. Please confirm if you can see the polls. Yeah. Right, I'm seeing people are not able to see. So I've relaunched the poll. You should be able to see. Okay, the polls are coming in. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And you're not limited to the options on the poll. You can also write on the chat what areas you'd want covered, so that you can invite subject matter experts to speak further to the modules that will be covered in these training sessions. Right, so we can have the break. So as you go on break, you can please write on the polls and then we'll resume with the training. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mantui, for that. So we can take our 10-minute break, or 6 or 7 minutes. That's okay. Then you come back. So it's about, we'll be back at exactly 11:10. Okay, so let's take our break and then we come back at 11:10. Thank you. You can be shown dust in the, you can be shown dust in the through the social media. So I'm saying you would rather have a customer who complains of all this than one who will not say at all. So then what will you do? Yeah. How will you deal with each of these issues? What do you need to do so that you can take care of these issues that customers complain about, or the customers that having those who you have impacted on negatively? Nurture your listening skills. You need to empathize, put them in understanding in the customer's shoes, responding professionally. This is how to undo all those issues that will impact on the negative, on the customer's experience, not in the right to respond professionally. Recognize underlying factors. I said earlier that when you deal with clients directly, you have the power to affect their perceptions. So as you now recognize this, as you have conversations, as you communicate effectively with them, clearly being conscious of the two-way street in communication. When you recognize underlying factors, deal with those, address the emotions. At times it just requires you to point out an emotion. And maybe, I can see that you're angry, for example. You're telling, I can see that you're angry. And, you're not telling them in a way that is sarcastic. You're acknowledging that emotion. And, or this must have made you very, very sad. And of course, you don't leave it there. You apologize. I'm sorry that you feel this way. I'm sorry that you're angry. I'm sorry that you're disappointed. I'm sorry that you have let you down. Those are ways then you handle recognizing underlying factors. Ask questions to get clarifications. You need to understand where the person is coming from. You need to understand where the shoe pinches most. That's the way you'll be able to solve it. When the shoe pinches most, when you understand, is it the right toe, is it the left toe, then you'll be able to understand it. But how do you get to know which shoe pinches, which toe pinches, when you've not even asked questions? It is by asking the questions to get clarification. Get feedback about your service. Give and get about your service. And in this regard, you're saying, this is what we can do. This is what we can do. This is how we can solve your issue. Or this is not, maybe this way we cannot, but at this point we cannot do this. So you're trying to connect with them. You're trying to address it. It is a way of professionalism. Like we wish we can, at times, like I say, the demands, they can go beyond maybe your what you can do. So you give feedback about your service or what you can, even as you, of course, acknowledge where you have gone wrong and you accept your mistakes. It's professional, it's mature. Summarize key points in the negotiation. At times, customers will monopolize your time on telephone. I will look at, and especially when they've made a call, and especially these free calls, Safaricom and others, KPLC, Zuku, all those. When you make those calls, sometimes they will monopolize your time on the telephone, but you don't have to then hang up or just excuse yourself. Probably maybe time, maybe you understand, or maybe you summarize what they have said so that you show them that I understand. But if it goes too long, can now again become too much for you. But if it is what will pacify the client, so be it. But don't hang up, but show the interest in the conversation. That's what I'm saying. So otherwise, customers will call you. They'll call you with all manners of concerns. Don't ignore them. Acknowledge that, but find out a way of maybe ending the conversation professionally. Speak softly. Don't argue back. And then sometimes it's very difficult when people are having a difficult time, or maybe they have been addressed, they have been abused, or they have been accused, and they know that they are not on the wrong. Speak softly, don't argue. Ask for their opinion even when you won't implement. At times, just listen to them. As you understand as you understanding the underlying factors, ask those opinions, get to know. And this is where now you will now tell them up to what you can do, and you give them ways of you give them actually alternatives on what can be done so that now it can be. You agree on how you actually do it together. That's partnership. You partner with the client so that now you can say this is the way to go. And then of course after that, follow it up. As I said, as we have seen in the video, don't get drawn in. Take a break. And this is with negative conversations. Don't get drawn in. Don't respond to the yelling. Don't get onto. Don't let them. Don't let them make you lose your cool. I call it losing your cool. Because when you get droning into the tone, when you get droning into the negative wording, then you'll be losing your cool. Remain calm. Don't lose your anger. Let the customer know the consequences calmly and objectively. Because at times it can get abusive. You can be threatened with all that. Just to let them know the consequences. Because at times you can even tell them, this can be. If let's say someone gives you a very they are very insistent on a topic that maybe I'm going to send a gun, or I'm going to send a dog to you. All manners of things that people can say when they are in angry tones. Do not hang up. Keep talking to them and keep reassuring them. Threats can attempt to intimidate you, but keep calm. Let your responses be focused on the issue at hand. Because they will get tied to digress. When a person is angry, they'll try to digress and look at and take you from the main thing, and maybe start looking at what you have not done. But can you keep focus on the way forward? How can we reassure you? How can we take you forward? How can we solve this? And an angry customer is most likely not angry with you. Please remember that. They are not angry with you. It is with the services that have been rendered. So just when you note that, then you not take it personally. When you note that, you not allow yourself to be drawn in. When you note that, you'll not lose your cool, but you will stay. You will then be able to stay collected, stay calm, because it is not about you. It is about the services. It is about the mishap. It is about what has gone wrong. And so that is why you will be focused on how to make it right. That is why you will be focused on how to undo what has, if there's any way it can be corrected, focus on that. And when you know that there's not anything you can do, thank you for those thumbs up, says that at least we are following. And when there's something you cannot do, tell it to them in a gentle way. When you dismiss people, it even gets them more angry. Don't dismiss people, but tell them in a very gentle way that this is how we are going to do it, and this is and this up to this much I can come in, but I may not be able to do this. Point out what you are able to do and what you are unable to do. You give it to them in a very gentle way. use that the 80-20 rule, yeah, where you let them do, let them do 80% of the listening, and then 20, you say 20 is you are responding, but 80 you are listening. Yeah, empathize, don't sympathize, by being, by showing your concern. Because again, you want to be professional, you want to give solutions. Apologize verbally. Don't send a message, sorry, one word. No, tell it to them. It's easier when it is said. Agree on a summarize on an agreed action plan. And that's why I say focus on what is working, or what can work, and focus on and what you cannot do. Say to them gently, but what is the way forward? Then summarize on an agreed plan, and ensure that by the time you're ending that conversation, that is clear for both parties. So we are looking at how our ways now of managing ourselves in anger in situations where we are dealing with angry clients. I'm emphasizing on the listening, on the empathizing, the responding professionally, recognizing underlying factors, asking questions to get clarification, give feedback about the service, summarizing key points in the negotiations or in the discussion. Don't hang up. Show that you're paying attention to the conversation. So when you're dealing with crisis or challenges in customer care or customer service, this is what I'm emphasizing on being very professional, being very gentle in how you deal with these issues, managing the clients even when they are not, even at times when they are not willing. You can win them over. You can win them back to you. You can win them back to yourself, and you can win them back to the organization, maybe without you realizing. By just being gentle, you're making an impact. And those are the people who later on become your long-lasting clients. They become your ambassadors because you have demonstrated the professionalism, because you have demonstrated maturity, because you have demonstrated honesty, you have demonstrated even humility. You have not become superior, or you have not blasted them, and you have also demonstrated how important a client is to you. Because as you're going into all these extremes, it is ways of guarding this relationship. It is ways of nurturing that relationship. It is ways now which you're talking about building loyalty with clients. So we are saying here, the conversation I want to have with you, even as we focus on customer excellence, that it is not, I started by saying, it is not a one-off. It is not a press of a button. It takes work. It takes a lot of work. It takes us to keep working on these relationships, keep guarding these relationships so that others do not take them. We need to continually work on how to manage those relationships. We need to continually do the crisis management. We need to continuously take care of issues that come up, and dealing with them maturely and following up with them will ensure that clients will remain very loyal to us. That's the way it is. Yeah. And this is just a continuation of what I've said, using this 80-20, empathizing, apologizing, and agreeing on an action plan. And as you agree on an action plan, that's why you're saying this is something that can work very, very well for you. And this agreed plan is what now will make you, will keep your customer loyal. And you don't just agree on a plan. Then what do? Follow it up. Follow up. Don't leave them there. At that moment, I said they are very vulnerable. They are very fragile. Take care of them, even as you acknowledge those emotions. Take care of them and ensure that if that is corrected, those become your customers for life. So let's see how then to strategies to get customers who are angry, like the example we've given, to back down. Please watch. Oh, sorry, that seems not to be playing. I'll ensure that I played before we finish. We seem to have lost it. I'll play it before we end. I wanted to play something on just anger management, but you're going to play it. I'll ensure that we do that towards the end. Then I wanted to say something about no. What is a no? How about the times that you have to say no, or you have to say, or you just have to, like I said earlier, when you're unable to do something, as you're giving clarity about your services, giving some clarity about what your organization does. I want to say that no is a full sentence. Sometimes you have to say no, but if you do it right, you can still get a thank you because you have said it in a gentle way. Nurture your gentle no. No, we don't offer that. No, we cannot do, we cannot do that. Like, for example, let me use an example of customers. Probably you have purchased something from an organization, and maybe it has not served you well. What are the return policies? You have to know what is in place for the organization. So there are times that probably maybe if you return that item and it is you can be refunded, yes, but many organizations will not give you back that cash. It's just that one of those. But how do you say it to them? Maybe how you can replace that item with something else that of the same amount, or maybe you say it in a gentle way, but not those ones of you want to have known, you should have looked at the receipt, you should have known, or you are telling them that and you're hurting them double. If they are already hurt by having been let down by that item, you're now making it worse. So you nurture your gentle no. Explain why it cannot be done. Don't quote policy. That's why I say don't even tell them, did you read the receipt? Don't do that. Don't be patronizing. Do it in a very gentle way. Offer alternatives when you can. And alternatives, you clarify. And be as genuine as you can when you're giving alternatives. Avoid making excuses. Oh, our team that takes care of this was on off that day when you took this item. The one who sold you this should have told you. Don't offer excuses. Eliminate negative phrases. Negative phrases like we do not. Yeah. No. Can't you see? Shouldn't you have? Why did you? All those negative phrases, eliminate them from the conversation. Be as positive, be as focused as you can. Yeah. Don't mention other similar complaints. You're not the first one to complain. Ni wengi wamerudisha hizi vitu. That is wrong. Don't mention other similar complaints. I said that you're better off giving individualized attention. When you give examples with others, you're showing these clients that you're not, like they don't matter. Remember what I said about a client feeling important, a client feeling respected. So when you're giving them about when you're giving when mentioning other complaints, then you're showing them that they do not matter, which is so wrong. So don't mention others, but deal with this one, which is individualized to them. So having done all that, we are just about to end. And before we end, because there's still time, I want us to, before we end, we can start giving feedback as I get you the, I want to get you the video that you are to play, but I was not able to get it. It is somewhere. So I want to, at this point, as I get that video, I would like to request Mantui to give us some of the feedback, and then I prepare that video. We watch some of the feedback, just a few, and then we watch the video, and then now we can make our comments. I hope that's in order, Mantui. Hope you can hear me.
Hi, Annabelle. Thank you.
Yes.
So I can read a few of the chats and maybe a few of the questions. So we have Roland saying a very powerful input. Gertrude saying, I'm grateful, learning a lot from this. A lot of people also saying they're learning a lot. Faith telling us that she's enjoying the session. Maureen is learning a lot. So lots of learnings, lots of learnings. So maybe I can read a few of the questions. We have one asking, how can we improve in the business in in meeting the customer's needs with this economic crisis. We have as well, how does one build a good rapport and communication with a service that is mainly offered online or on social media, meaning not a lot of physical communication with the potential client. So I can maybe leave it at that as more come in. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mantui. I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I think it's there's something you've talked about. I've had one of the questions asking about the economy, how you can still take care of customers in this very difficult economy. Indeed, it's a very, very difficult time for everyone. And like I said earlier, it's sometimes the little things that count. It's not about the big things. It's about even individualizing and individualizing communication to that client so that they'll feel that they are important. Remember what I talked about, the customer feeling important. When you make the client feel important, whether things are not going well, when you still keep communicating with your client, even when probably, like I said, you have not even been able to take care of you have not met the expectations, you can still be able to appeal to your customers. An appeal to a customer does not have to be based on anything tangible. It is just that commitment from you, that going out of your way, that going to the level of the customer. Actually, this is now what experience is, going to the level of the customer and ensuring that the experience they get is a positive one. And even where you have not gotten things right, being able to apologize to them and make it up for them. So even in the difficult times, we can still appeal to our customers in more ways than one. When we are lagging behind in services or in our products, in the delivery of our products, ensuring that we are communicating. What I said when I started this session is that communication and effect and building relationships is actually the enemy for a customer, for a client that does for the results. That is what to guarantee results for our businesses. So taking care of them, even in this very difficult economy, because I'm still for resilience, not giving up. We keep on also nurturing those relationships with our customers. We now have an addition. The other time we talked about resilience with ourselves, resilience with our business. Now I'm adding another that resilience, customer resilience. Those relationships, customer service resilience, that we are not going to give up on our customers. I hope I've answered you, Mantu. I've answered the person, Mantui. And I have the video ready. How do you, because I was just about to end this was the last item. Can I play it and then we close it? We just do the rest, it will be Q&A.
Yes, Annabelle, I think that's good because there are many questions coming in. So I think we can.
All right. I'm just about to play this and then it's a very short one, and then now we continue with our questions.
Being intimidated by difficult customers, ignoring their behavior, or tiptoeing around the situation is not healthy or productive. And in most cases, it doesn't even lead to customer satisfaction. In this segment, you will get 6 field tested strategies for assertively responding to anger. Strategies that have been proven highly effective for getting irate customers to back down. First up, apologize. An apology makes the angry customer feel heard and understood. It diffuses anger, and it allows you to begin to reestablish trust. Not only that, but pilot studies have found that the mere act of apologizing has reduced lawsuits, settlement, and defense costs. You need to apologize to customers regardless of fault. Certainly, the apology needs to be carefully worded. Here's an example of a sincere yet careful apology. Please accept my sincere and unreserved apology for any inconvenience this may have caused you. My second tip: kill them softly with diplomacy. This simple phrase has never failed me. Clearly, we've upset you, and I want you to know that getting to the bottom of this is just as important to me as it is to you. When you say this, anger begins to dissipate. You've addressed the anger directly and non-defensively, and you haven't been pulled into the drama of the attack. And here's a fun tip: go into computer mode. To use computer mode, you take on the formalities of a computer. You speak generally, without emotion, and you don't take the bait your angry or difficult customer is throwing you. Your words, tone, and attitude are completely impersonal and neutral. Think of the automated response system you speak to when you call your wireless phone company or bank. This computer mode response deflects, diffuses, and disarms angry customers because you don't add fuel to the fire by giving your difficult customer what they want, and that is an emotional reaction. When you don't take the bait, the difficult customer is forced to stop dead in their tracks, and that means you regain control and confidence. Let me illustrate computer mode. Let's say your customer says, "You don't give a darn about customers. Once you get a customer locked into a contract, the service aspect is over." While it may be tempting to fuel the fire with an equally hostile response, such as, "What's your problem?" don't take the bait. If you do take the bait, the situation will only escalate, and nothing productive or positive will result. A computer mode response might look like one of these statements. People get irritated when they don't immediately get the help they need. It's very annoying to experience a delay in service response. Nothing is more distressing than feeling like you're being passed around when all you want is help. And then you stop, like a locked up computer. No matter how uncomfortable the verbal abuse is or how ridiculous it becomes, continue to respond without emotion. This tactic works because it is neutral, it doesn't take the bait, and because it is unexpected. The difficult customer wants to throw you off, make you lose control, and then get you to respond emotionally. When you fail to do each of these things, you actually regain control. Go into computer mode the next time you're faced with verbal abuse from an irate or unreasonable customer. And I promise you, you'll quickly regain control and you'll have fun with the process. All right, next up, give this question a shot. Have I done something personally to upset you? I'd like to be a part of the solution. Of course, you know you haven't done anything to upset the customer. You ask this question to force the angry customer to think about his behavior. Often, the mere asking of this question is enough to get the ballistic customer to begin to shift from the right brain to the left brain, where he can begin to listen and rationalize. Next up, show empathy. Empathy can be a powerful tool used to disarm an angry customer and show that you genuinely care about the inconvenience the customer has experienced. Expressing empathy is also good for you, as it helps you truly begin to see the problem from the customer's perspective. And this perspective will help keep you from losing your cool when your customer gets hot. By letting customers know that you understand why they are upset, you build a bridge of rapport between you and them. Here are some phrases that express empathy. That must have been very frustrating for you. I realize the wait you encountered was an inconvenience. If I were in your shoes, I'm sure I'd feel just as you do. It must have been very frustrating for you to have waited 5 days for your order, and for that, I am sorry. And finally, here's a tip that works like magic. Show appreciation for the difficult person's feedback. After your difficult customer has ranted and raved, you can regain control of the conversation by interjecting, not interrupting, but interjecting to thank them for taking the time to give you feedback. Here are a few phrases you might try. Thanks for taking the time to let us know how you feel. Thanks for being so honest. We appreciate customers who let us know when things aren't right. Thanks for caring so much. The reason this tip works so effectively is because the last thing your irate or unreasonable customer expects is for you to respond with kindness and gratitude. It's a shock factor, and many times you'll find that your customer is stunned silent. And this is exactly what you want. When the customer is stunned into silence, you get in the driver's seat and you steer the conversation in the direction you want it to go. The next time you find yourself the target of verbal abuse, deploy these field tested techniques and you will create calm, maintain control, and I promise you, you'll be far more effective.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. We were just about to end there, but I wanted you to go with that. And at least I believe it has been helpful for you, even as we end up close on the section on managing difficult situations, challenges in customer care. So we can now go back to the questions. Thank you for the flowers and the claps and the thumbs ups. Thank you. They are all coming. The hearts. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There it shows that at least we are connecting, that we are happy. I even receive gifts. I see them. Thank you very much. And so thank you for the flowers, for everything. I want to go back to Mantui so that she can give us the questions as they are and the feedback. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Annabelle. I can begin with one comment from Nora. She says, don't take the bait. That's the best advice yet. Being in the hospitality industry, your patience will be tested. Thank you. Thank you, Nora, for that. So there's a number of questions. Annabelle, I don't know what you'd prefer. Should I read like 3 or 4 of them and you answer as we go, or one by one? You can share your preference.
About 3 at a go.
3 at a go, okay. Great. So the first one is from Zakaria. He says, how do we have clients who take debt, but paying becomes a problem and it can lead to destroying the relationship between you and the clients, right? Then the second one comes from Ian. He says, morning, how would you advise us to handle customers who fail to pay in time or do not pay at all, but keep on coming back? So there's that issue of payments and you know how to handle the customers. Then the next one comes from an anonymous attendee. They say, when you say empathize, what can one say to a client without sounding too sympathetic or too involved? And then the last one, before you answer them, is how do you handle a client who becomes abusive to your employees? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mantui, for those questions. I've noted that there are 2 regarding debts. We have customers who want to, whose relationship with you is debt, and they want to keep coming back. And I want to start by handling that one and say, debt again is not something that to be encouraged unless you have an understanding with them. If you have an understanding, because you should have an agreement, even as you bring in clients on board, you want to also understand how are payments to be made. So when you have allowed, when maybe is it a cash basis, is it on weekly basis, is it on monthly basis, is it on even bi-monthly basis? There is how you have agreed, but there are customers who will not honor that. I want to take you back to the terms of the contract or your terms of agreement. How did you agree? Now, by being professional, we are also going to, you also want to not be, you do not want to be taken for granted by our customers. So again, you want to remind them what the terms of agreement are. So this is now where you have to be assertive. Assertiveness is a very important tool for anyone in business. And so it will get to that point where if they are coming back for goods or services, maybe you can deny, or arrange with them, have a commitment from the client on how they intend to clear their debt. And if you give them that window, then do they honor it? If they don't honor it, you will now have to have that discussion. Your business cannot be run without when you keep taking away the profit, your capital, you see now your business will not be able to drive. Your business cannot just drive on relationships. There will also be business. So we talked about having fruitful business relationships, but this should not be crafted in any way. So what you will do is have that candid conversation with your client in a way that is that you do not want to lose them, but be candid with them and then them understand that again, you need that you need those funds to run your business or to have your business run. And because there is an entire module dedicated to that, I know that my colleague William will be talking more about managing plans, even when it comes to those agreements, financial agreements, and they will also be talking about pricing. So I do not want to preempt, but the same person who has asked this question will have more insights during the financial module, financial management module. I also have a question. That question was on how you can empathize with your customers. When the difference with empathy and sympathy, sympathy is just sympathizing with no action. When you sympathize with we understand, and you're making them, sympathizing is you are helping the person to become sadder than they are. But empathizing is you make them understand that it's communicating that you do understand, or you want to have a walk in their shoe, partly, but you will not stay there. Now, empathy is effective in customer service because, again, customers get into very, very difficult situations. And so you want to understand them as a business owner, that you're not just understanding, if you have a relationship, it's not just about when you're doing business. So empathize with them with action. You take it a notch further. But again, when you empathize, you don't stay in that situation. You can be thrown into a sad situation. Say, for example, it's an instance of, let me use an example of someone who has lost a loved one. You will not be so drawn into it that you are not even able to support them. Now that is sympathy. But when you empathize with them, you make them understand what you're feeling, and then you take it further. Like if you sympathize with your client, for example, and you now take it further, you empathize and also you act on how you empathize. Let's take it further and have some action related to it. So there is a difference between sympathizing. Sympathizing, you can stay there sympathizing with the person, but there is no action. And the action that is taken when you empathize with this person should be maybe something tangible or in relation to how the client is, but you're helping them also get off through maybe your support. So that is in regards to empathy. How do you handle one who becomes abusive to staff? Now, like I said earlier, even when you're dealing with clients who have difficulties, or clients who have anger issues, for example, and they're abusive to your clients, first of all, to your staff, first of all, get to hear from both parties what is really happening. Yes, there could be some maybe some bad blood between them and the staff. But can you get to hear both sides, both the staff and both the client? Again, don't blacklist the customer when you have not heard more from them. Get to understand who is on the wrong, and if the cluster, if it is the mistake is from your organization, of course, get the client to apologize. Get your member of staff to apologize. Now, even if it's on the client, like we say, the client is always right, even when they are wrong and they make unrealistic expectations. So you want to also still show them that yes, if they were on the wrong, this was not right, and the consequences of this are A, B, C, D. But we still want you as a client. So you want to guard that relationship by being professional, by being mature, hearing what it is. But even when when something has been done, has come off, maybe not in the right way, you're dealing with it objectively, with maturity and professionalism, and you can still keep this client. You do not want to lose them. So, but basically, first of all, get to understand what is the issue between the two, and get to hear from both sides. Back to you, Mantui.
Thank you, Annabelle. Really, really good responses. Okay, so now we can go to the next set of questions. We have a number of questions around maybe how to attract customers to my restaurant business, for example, from Dennis. I know we'll be having a session that will cover more on this, but maybe you can touch on that. Then we have Mary asking, can I refer a customer to terms and conditions? So she expounds that, for instance, you have something that has, like you have a price change, so it may change without notice. Is it appropriate to refer your customer to the terms and conditions? Then we have Mshindi telling us, how do you handle a customer who interrupts a session you have with another customer and wants to be given the first priority? So then let me read the last one for this particular set. It's quite long, so it goes, how much is too much? As an example, this is from Collins. I strive to always provide a customer-centric approach to all my clients to make them repeat customers. Most of the time, with all the extras to after-sales services, you don't get the repeat business, but end up always on call to offer solutions. Once I try to introduce a retainer service for all the consultancy, 80 to 90% end up disappearing. How can you overcome this and not overwhelm yourself without appropriate compensation? Yeah, so that's the next set. Can hand over back to you, Annabelle. Thank you.
Thank you, Mantui. The part of the price change I had, and the one of interrupting customers and how much is too much. The first one I didn't hear it well. Sorry.
Oh, pardon? Sorry, I lost you a bit.
The first question that you read, I didn't hear it well, but I heard from whether you can refer another customer when you have a price change.
Okay, so right, so I said there's the questions around how to attract more customers to your business, how to have a successful marketing for an emerging business. But I also alluded that we will have a session that will cover this a lot more in detail. But if you want to touch on it, I think that would also be good. And then the second one was from Mary. She asks, can I refer a customer to terms and conditions? So for instance, you had a price change, and this was without prior notice. Would it be appropriate to refer your customer to the terms and conditions? And then the next one was from Shindi.
The rest I had. The rest is Mantui. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for your questions, Mantui. Thank you for the participants who are giving us feedback and asking. And about marketing, just like well, Mantui has said, we have a module that will just be talking about how to market yourself effectively. But maybe from as early as now, I want to mention just those basic things that you have talked about. Customers, you manage the relationships, you manage communication. If you're very good on those two, you'll have customers who are loyal. And so when you, and of course, when you also have the awareness that customer care can go wrong, and so you want to work at this in the best way possible. So when you do that, you can be sure that your customers will be loyal and they will tell others about you. So the best tool for marketing is word of mouth. Everything else, yes, is appealing, but the word of mouth, a repeat customer, a return customer, or who brings another, that's the best way of marketing yourself. So I'll just stop at that, just give that, because this is what we have discussed today. And so the rest, then you can hear more from my colleague who will be talking about marketing, and it will be a very, very interesting session as well. Let me handle the question on referring to terms and conditions when you have had a price change. Wow, okay. I had actually had it wrongly. I thought you can refer them to somebody else. I want to mention this. I know we have talked about policy and we have talked about procedures for our consumption as people who are dealing with customers. But when you refer them to terms and conditions, at times it may not come well. How about if you have a conversation around those terms and conditions, or if probably you just make a reflection but not asking them, maybe like to read, or have you looked at the terms and conditions? You can be educated. Let's say you're trying to educate them. You educate them on your terms, or on the things that, on what your clients, or maybe what your terms and services stand for. If probably there has been price change, but you're not making reference, because again, when you're making reference, it may come out like they no longer need us. So we, in attempts to build relationships, we will have conversations around it, maybe a candid conversation. You make time to explain to the client, so that you don't, because quality at times, pricing change may mean, you are maintaining your quality. There may be others who may still have the initial price, but who have diluted the quality. So you just also talk about the benefits. Even as you talk about that, you have that conversation, talk about the benefits of your product and services. You re-emphasize them, so that the clients will also see the need of having you as the provider. Interrupting customers who want your attention, and maybe they want to bypass others. Now, this is where you get to know your clients. There's something we call KYC. Know your customers. Understand who your customers are. Understand how they are. And if you know this is how this customer is, get away of maybe inculcating some patience with them. And again, if you know that is how they are, and that is how they can never change, this is now when you can say, for example, they are your very good client. You can ask if they wanted your attention, can they be served by someone, another member of staff, or can they wait until you're done with your clients? If you give them those options, like we say, give customers their options, the options that are available. So if your customers that you're serving are not willing to allow them to quickly go, because maybe they are leaving, usually wanaenda Mombasa that evening, anything, find out a way of making them understand that it can also hurt others. But if you understand that is who they are, that is how they are, whatever happens, then you give them the options that are available. Yeah. And the last one is, how much is too much? Wow, can we say anything is too much? You keep trying. When you introduce new things, keep on taking our customers through it. Keep on blowing your whistle for your customers. Never tire. Keep talking to them. We say that the relationships that are long lasting are the ones that you keep nurturing, are the ones that you keep adding manure to, and those ones that you keep providing some sunshine to. So you want to keep on nurturing those relationships with your customers without tiring. As a business person, it is your business to keep on talking to your customers, so long as it is beneficial for the business, so long as it is beneficial for the customer, so that you can have the ties that bind with your customers. Back to you, Mantui.
Thank you, Annabelle. Thanks so much. I think we have questions that are very similar to what you have answered. One of them from Nelson is, according to my understanding, customer is a king. How do you handle the one that doesn't act like one? So very interesting. But I know you've also handled that, but could also touch on that. We have some more questions. Can we read a few? So we have, again, touching on payment. This is from Hilary, how do you deal with a client who asks for a refund from the payment processing company after you have successfully delivered your services, but later came back after realizing that they need you to be able to effectively use that service? Then we have, how do you handle a customer who starts belittling or mocking the organization from the customer care desk to the manager? So yes, so lots of questions on difficult customers. Then let me also just shout out to David Kagwima, who's given a really good response on abusive employees. So you can also check that out on the chats. Yeah. So maybe, okay, and the last one maybe for you, Annabelle, is Stanley asking how to handle a customer who requires more attention and yet you have limited time since you have many customers who also require your attention at the same time. Yeah, thank you, Annabelle.
Wow, I talk about the difficult customers, the ones who will demand of your time, extra time, and you have other customers. Like those ones, I think it's the same thing that I said to the first one. You'll just understand what kind of a client. When you understand who your clients are, first, of course, you give them the options that are available. If you let them know, if they are going to wait for you when you have another client, then so be it. If they cannot wait, unfortunately, you are not going to ignore seeing other clients so that you can see them. That is not right, because you never know who else will lead on board as your client. Interrupting customers, I think I dealt with that. And there's also a question on customers who become abusive to your organization, right from the customer care desk all the way to management. So that such a person, it's like we talked about, not engaging them. If someone has a high tone, don't engage them. To allowing them to back down is now being in that computer mode where you're not responding. They are using anger, they're using frustration. Don't get on that. Don't respond with emotion. Just take in, listen to them, and find a way of managing them. But of course, if it becomes excessively, and also find out, get to understand what's underlying this complaint, what's underlying this communication, this this anger, to get to that point that they are even abusing the organization. Ensure that you understand what exactly is happening, even as you now not engage them emotionally, or don't make it an abusive session. Don't give in to the emotion. Manage it gently, manage it by professionally and with gentleness, and also be patient. I think as a business person, what is coming out here is that you have to be professional, you have to be patient, you have to be empathetic. And even when you understand what the concern is, be empathetic about it and voice it out. Voice it out to them. Is there a question? I didn't hear well. Mantui?
I think there's a clarification from Collins. Maybe I can ask him to unmute. Collins, if you don't mind, I can unmute you so that you can get it clarified well. Let us know if you're able to talk.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, my question was how much is too much? In terms of dealing with a client, you find yourself having several clients who you treat them or you address the business on a personal note. You answer you provide the service, and after everything is done, you keep on in touch, offering solutions to anything that might come up. But there's a point at which reaches that now you're offering solutions way beyond, and you need some compensation back instead of just keep on giving and giving. And sometimes it uses your time, your resources, and you're not getting any compensation or something back on your side. So you end up spending a lot on a customer and not getting any repatriation. Thank you. I think I explained it well when I was when I wrote it down.
I think I've been able to hear it well now, Mantui. How much is too much when you have done all you can for this client, but they are still not, you're using your resources, and the client is still, what I'm picking is that they are not satisfied, or they still want to keep pushing you to what competition is doing. I get it, that it can get very, very frustrating. You have limits as far as your business is concerned. You have again, you cannot do against what is profitable for your business, and this again will be dealt with in financial management. It gets to a point where assertiveness now becomes a very important tool, because you have to be assertive. This is up to how much I can go. You will say it in a gentle way. You will not be drawn into the competitive wars, because again, sometimes people can have malicious intentions. They can also be the mouthpieces for your competitors. So get to be assertive. I think for you here is to be assertive, even as you also guard the relationship, but do what is within your confines as a business. Don't again stretch yourself too much to a point that your business profits are hurting. And again, be assertive with this person and tell them, this is how much I've been able to do ABCD. Maybe beyond this, it is looking, it is looking impossible for me. But you say it in a way that is gentle, so that you're not hurting this client. But again, whatever is being drawn, even if you're not able to do, if you see it's something that would help your business, just learn from it, because we say that we learn every day. If it is something that you can do in the future, but you're not able to do now, just make it clear for the client, and so that they also understand. And again, even as you're dealing with clients, I'll go back to what I said earlier, get to know your various clients, their intentions, their expectations, and how even let them also give you feedback for your business, but not again to put you as a doormat where they or a punching bag. Yeah. Back to you, Mantui.
Thank you, Annabelle. I think we can have one more question because of time, but we also have a poll, because we have received questions regarding WhatsApp. So as I read the question, please watch out for a poll to let us know if you also prefer to have updates on WhatsApp. So does that mean you'd prefer for us to form a group? Just let us know on the poll. Then, so the last question, and this is from Gertrude. She asks, how do you handle disability, a person with disability, to a satisfactory level whereby he or she will take things positively and not personally? And just as you answer that, let me also clarify about the certification. So we will be issuing virtual certificates at the end of the 10 module training sessions. So once you complete all the 10 modules, you will receive a virtual certificate. Then please ensure that you have registered. I'll also I've just shared the registration link on the chat. Just watch out for that. Please ensure that you're registered so that you get the recorded sessions as well as the slides and the schedule, so that you get updated on everything that is going on. Yes, so over to you, Annabelle, for that last question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for getting that question, and thank you for also updating us on the WhatsApp. So yes, how do you get to serve someone with a disability to satisfaction? I think this is, remember, disabilities is not inability. Disability is just a limitation, but people are able to do so much and even thrive and even have very successful businesses being run by people who are not who may have a disability of a sort. So I think even as you interact with the person, or whoever it is, or whatever form of disability they have, it is just understanding their expectations, the kind of what are they looking for in your business, or what is it that they expect from your business. So just have that understanding. Remember, it's good to also treat them like we are, because we are the same. There is just that we can be limited in some forms, and we all get limited sometimes in our lives. Just understand what their needs are, but again, treat them to the very best, the best way you can. So it is not way too much, but give them to the very best. But again, get to know, even as they are your customer, what are the expectations, and then meet those expectations. Because we talked about the basic needs, but there are those things that a customer wants: to be loved, to be appreciated, to be respected, all those things. Just have them as the basic, to be listened to. Just have them as the basis of your interactions with customers of whatever form, and get to know, understand your clients and those needs, and then so that you're able to respond to those needs. Yes, back to you, Mantui.
Thank you so much, Annabelle. I think that has been an amazing session. As we wind up, maybe you can tell us on the chat what has stood out for you, what you're taking home, what you're carrying to your business, what will change starting right now as you head back to your businesses. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time, for your engagement. We look forward to seeing you again next week on Wednesday, same time, same place. You can still share it out to your contacts, to your fellow business men and women. We would love to have many people on board. We want to see your businesses thriving. We want to see your businesses scaling up. So even as we wind up, you can let us know what has stood out for you, what you're changing. Last time we actually had Annabelle gaining a new name, which was Resilient. We wonder what her name from this time will be. We have also taken note of your poll results, that a number of you would want us to have a WhatsApp group. So we will share an Excel sheet we will ask for your details for those who want to be added in the group. We'll do that for easier coordination. But thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We look forward to seeing you for the next sessions. And let me just end by reading one comment from Peter, who says, "Backing down an angry client has nailed it for me today." Thank you so much. And we hope to see you guys thriving even in your customer experience and excellence. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Mshindi tells us, what has stood out for me is the 6 ways to make your angry customer to back down. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great afternoon. We will see you next week, same time, same place.
Thank you very much, Mantui, and thank you, everyone. Thank you for your feedback, and thank you for your participation. We appreciate you. Asante sana. Thank you for the love hearts, the claps. We appreciate you very much. Thank you. See you next time.